I used to do urban exploration back in college. Abandoned buildings, service tunnels, places you're technically not supposed to go. Most of the time it was harmless. Graffiti, old furniture, the occasional weird noise, nothing truly creepy. Until I found that door. It was late October. I was in Ohio, visiting an old friend who worked at a local news station. The building was originally a textile mill, then a print shop, now just empty floors filled with broken cubicles and dead silence. I asked if I could check out the lower levels for some footage. He laughed and tossed me the basement keys, said he hadn't been down there in years. The basement door was heavy and painted over so many times it barely opened. As soon as I stepped inside, the air changed. It was thick, musty, but not just from dust. It was the kind of air you could feel in your ears. I walked down a narrow concrete hallway, filming with my phone. Pipes ran along the ceiling, some dripping. The lights overhead buzzed weakly like they were dying. I kept hearing something faint. Not dripping, not footsteps. More like breathing, but distant. I called out just in case anyone was squatting down there. No answer. That's when I saw it. A steel door at the end of the hallway, wide open with no hinges or knobs, like it wasn't meant to be opened or closed. Just there. Beyond it, yellow wallpaper, cheap office carpeting, and buzzing fluorescent lights. Completely different from the basement, like a different building altogether. I should have turned back, but I didn't. I stepped through. There was an immediate shift. The door behind me was gone. Not closed. Gone. I turned around and it was just more of the same room. Same yellow walls, same carpet, no end in sight. I started recording again, heart racing. Every 30 seconds I thought I heard footsteps, always behind me, always stopping when I stopped. I tried calling out again, louder this time. My voice echoed, but the echo sounded delayed, like someone else was repeating it. I walked for maybe 10 minutes before I found something worse than the door disappearing. Another person, standing still way down the hall, facing away. At first I thought they were just another explorer like me, maybe lost. But the longer I stared, the more I noticed something off. Their limbs looked too long. Their head tilted slightly, like they were listening. I slowly backed away, trying not to make a sound. I held my breath. That's when the lights above me flickered, and the figure turned. When the figure turned, I didn't move. I couldn't. It didn't make a sound, didn't walk, just stood there staring in my direction. I say staring, but I couldn't even see its eyes. Its face was wrong. Blurry, like it wasn't finished loading. Like someone tried to describe a human face from memory and got it all slightly off. I stayed frozen for what felt like minutes. My camera was still recording, shaking in my hand. The buzzing from the lights grew louder. A low hum that made my teeth hurt. Then the thing took a step. Not a stumble, not a limp, just a smooth, deliberate step forward, then another. It wasn't rushing me, it was testing me. I turned and ran. The hall twisted endlessly. No doors, no windows, just those sick yellow walls. I turned corners without thinking, sprinting past stains and patches of wet carpet that sucked at my shoes. At one point I swore I saw the same painting on the wall 3 times in a row. A generic forest scene, something was looping. I stopped only when my lungs gave out. The buzzing had faded, everything was quiet, too quiet. That's when I noticed the room. Different from the others. Larger, more open. Fluorescent lights still hung overhead, but they were spaced wider apart. In the center of the room sat a single office chair. Black, slightly torn, facing away. I approached slowly. Every instinct in my body told me not to. But curiosity wins more battles than fear ever does. As I reached the chair, I heard it again. Breathing. Not mine. Heavy. Rhythmic. Coming from the other side. I raised my phone and slowly stepped around the chair. There was nothing there. The seat was empty. But the breathing continued. Louder now. That's when I realized it wasn't coming from in front of me. It was coming from behind me. I spun around, nothing. But the camera. The screen showed something standing inches behind me. Not reflected, not visible to the naked eye, just on the screen. Tall, motionless, watching. I didn't think. I bolted, no direction, no plan, just away. I ran until the carpet turned to bare concrete. The walls began to crack and split, showing pipes, rebar, exposed insulation. A sign, maybe? That I was getting closer to an exit? Then I heard a sound I'll never forget, a voice, mine, coming from somewhere ahead, calling out for help. The exact words I'd spoken an hour earlier repeated back to me in my own voice, but slower, crooked. I don't remember deciding to stop. My body just locked up, like I'd reached the edge of a cliff. Because I realized something then. This place wasn't just some liminal space, it wasn't just weird. It was learning me. I didn't move for a long time. The voice ahead of me, my voice, kept repeating the same plea I'd made earlier when I thought someone was in the basement. But now it was distorted, stretched, like an old cassette recording melting in a car. Hello? Anyone there? The longer I listened, the more it changed. Not just slower, deeper, wrong. Like something was wearing my voice like a costume. I turned off the camera light. Maybe it couldn't see me if I stood still. I crouched in the shadows near the wall, behind exposed pipes. Everything was dead silent again. Then I heard it walking, bare feet, slapping the concrete. Not running, not searching, just walking. It passed by me. I held my breath. I didn't look up, but I felt it, close enough to touch me. The air got colder, like winter was leaking into that hallway. After it was gone, I waited. Maybe 10 minutes, maybe more, I don't know. I lost track of time down there. Eventually, I kept moving. I followed the direction the thing had come from. My phone battery was dying. I turned the screen off, kept the camera rolling in case I didn't make it out. At least someone might find it. The halls started to change. The yellow walls were gone. Now it looked like a decaying industrial facility. Brick walls, leaking pipes, exposed wiring, old elevator shafts and rusted-out ladders. That's when I saw a light. Not the flickering fluorescence, this was natural. Sunlight. It was coming through a small window at the top of a stairwell. My chest tightened. It had to be a way out. I climbed the stairs 2 at a time. The moment I reached the top, I pushed the door open. Daylight blinded me. Fresh air hit me in the face. I was outside, behind some kind of warehouse on the edge of town. I stumbled to the road and collapsed. A truck driver found me maybe 20 minutes later. He said I looked pale as a ghost and had blood on my shirt. I didn't even notice I was bleeding. A cut across my back. 3 long scratches. I still don't know how I got them. When I told the cops what happened, they didn't believe me. Said I must have fallen through a floor and hit my head. The warehouse was condemned. No signs of any weird rooms or endless hallways. But the footage was still on my phone. Most of it was corrupted, static, black frames, audio glitches. But there were clips, short, grainy fragments, where you could see the yellow walls, hear the buzzing. And in one clip, barely visible, a frame where I walk past the camera. But I swear I don't remember that moment. Because in that shot, I'm not holding a phone, and my eyes are completely black.